morning, millennials, and welcome back to the Toast. Oh my God. New energy.
New energy, new house, new month.
New us, you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, new studio. We are working through it, so lighting, audio, hopefully is on point today, but it'll be a work in progress as it was the first week of July. I feel like this studio is a little bit more us.
You think so? I actually feel like it's a departure for us, but that's what makes it exciting.
It's kind of dark. It's very masculine, actually.
It is masculine. We don't have a window. We love a window. We feel comfort in front of a window, even though the window is always
an
fucking
issue
with us.
This sort of aesthetic is giving Good Guys.
It is.
Which, pains me to say.
But I think it's really giving the Toast in August.
Yes. So we spent all day yesterday moving. We rented a new house for the month. We built our studio. We got everyone set up. And we are just gonna, and by the way, today's like the craziest day ever. Jax and I are recording, and then we're headed straight to New York because we're playing the Beacon Theater tonight and tomorrow night for our podcast live show, Girly Swirly's Night Out. We cannot wait to see you all there.
Right. I'm getting tagged in stories of like people on the plane with their girlfriends headed to Girly Swirly's Night Out. Like, I'm making sweet potato puree, but I can't wait to see you there.
No, it's gonna be fabulous.
And seeing other people's stories is like making me so excited because we just keep saying like we're going to New York, we have our live shows, but like seeing it from other people's POV, I'm like, oh, this is a fun night out.
Yeah, and it's also like so much has happened to us since we first played the Beacon Theater, but we forget like that was an amazing night. 2 nights. It was fabulous. It was exciting. It was so New York.
Totally. And I'm looking forward, to sizing up in terms of the crowd. Like, I love the Beacon energy.
Yeah, no, it's thousands of people.
It's
3,000.
really crazy.
It is.
And
it's
the
so
Wapak
loud.
energy was so different and so nice and so intimate
Homey.
and cozy and homey. And that was really our second home.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking,
but I'm looking forward to not feeling at home.
And speaking of GSNO, in the midst of our chaos yesterday, we totally forgot to promote our Atlantic City show is now live. So we are playing the Borgata Casino August 17th, super soon. It's going to be a swirly weekend in Atlantic Swirly. And that's New Jersey, by the way, for those who don't know, cream means cream. We are so excited to announce that those tickets are on sale. So head over to thetoastpodcast.com or just, Google it. We're playing the Borgata August 17th. Girly Swirly's Night Out is hitting the Atlantic City, a place that has, near and dear
so many fun memories, so swirly.
That's going to be a fun weekend.
We have spent many a time there, and it's fun to go back in this way.
1,000%. Just kind of like owning the strip.
Right.
Yeah. We also have great stories today.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. A lot of news that's part of other news from the last week or so. Of course, Olympics, of course, Ballerina. So if you've been listening, like things are coming full circle.
They are. Ballerina has spoken. Obviously, there's major drama in the gymnastics world it's layered. And I want to talk about it, and we will. But here's some other things that happened at the Olympics yesterday that aren't stories, but are worth mentioning. In a surprise to nobody, Katy did the thing. She's now the thing,
Yeah.
She broke all the records. I think she's the most decorated female swimmer. She was doing circles around these hoes. It's like not
nice
even
to watch her swim because you don't have anxiety. Like it's very so clear who's winning. It's not a nail biter. It's not winner by a swim cap.
So true.
Like it's a joy.
In other big Olympic news, they opened the Seine. The first Olympic event in the Seine happened yesterday. I saw a TMZ article where one of the swimmers got out and threw up.
No.
As of 3 days ago, it wasn't passing the test for E. coli, which is fucking disgusting. I don't know how in 2 days they were able to get this huge body of water. They need to give it up. The Seine is kind of plaguing the Paris Olympic Committee.
Yeah.
They need to, I know they say never give up on your dreams, but it's time.
I'm surprised they're not making the surfers surf in the Seine too. The fact that the surf competition is in French Polynesia is so sickening.
That's something France definitely has. And that's something they should have highlighted in their Olympic ceremony. They kind of just are putting those surfers in a box and pretending like they're not happening. It's so sick. NBC sent Colin Jost. I don't know if you've been seeing, he's the official Fiji correspondent. Whoever is doing the talent booking at NBC / Peacock, I want to give them just a huge pat on the back. I think Snoop Dogg was an inspired choice. Hoda and Savannah are having the time of their lives. They obviously, we knew they were going to crush it. And Colin Jost just kind of living in the French Polynesian Islands for the next couple of weeks. That must be fun. I wonder if Scarlett's with him. He's had a couple of viral moments. I think they're doing a really good job over at Peacock / and I was ragging on them the other day, but I have to give people their credit.
And you're watching 24 hours a day. Something's going to come up that you're not pleased with. But
it's
yes,
so true.
Overall, they're crushing content. They're packaging it nicely. They're doing good. And so while it wasn't good enough for the Fast Five, anything I just discussed, it was worth mentioning. Yeah.
But
the waves in Polynesia are sick.
Okay, I watched surfing. You would think it would be a little bit more of an exciting sport to watch. It's hard to capture for sure. And it's basically just this big block of time where two people like fight it out to get a good wave and a good score. It's a little boring. And you wouldn't think that surfing would be one of the more boring Olympic sports to watch.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what else is hella boring. Fencing. And I think it's mostly when you don't understand it, it's boring. But I seriously don't get it.
Yeah.
It's super boring.
I think you could say that about a lot of sports. We used to feel that way about football.
So true. Oh my God, not you calling me out on my biases. You're so right.
No, I'm saying you're like valid. Like that's a valid feeling.
You know what you wouldn't think is interesting to watch? But seriously, I was sweating. Table tennis.
No. Like there's nothing more fast paced.
But you would think like the ball is so small, the table is so small, the paddles are so small. Like how do we even see it's 4 people around this tiny table? They look like kids in a sandbox. Fascinating. And they're like true athletes. They're sweating.
No, and the more historical piece, that's why the Olympics are so fascinating. It's like the winners, I forget which order. China won gold, North Korea won bronze, South Korea won silver, something
this
like
year.
that. This year, just now. And they like all took a selfie together, which is like
wait, that's so cute.
Major. It's giving world peace.
World peace. It's giving harsher punishment. What is that quote
for parole violators?
That's like underrated. What I feel like everybody quotes Miss Congeniality, like April 25th, but literally harsher punishment for parole violators. She was wrong for that. That is so funny.
I mean, that's really bad.
That's a conversation
like
worth
if
having.
you're violating your parole, like you're not rehabilitated.
Oh my God, that's literally so funny. I don't know if up until this moment I realized that that's what she had said. Harsher punishment for parole violators. That's funny.
And world peace.
Of course, in world peace. So stories today are giving what? What would you say?
Stories today are giving full circle, I feel. It's a lot of answers to a lot of questions we've had. And it's not even just this week, like weeks long questions.
Yeah, Ballerina Farm put out 2 pieces of content to sort of give a statement on her thoughts on what's happened.
Not even just Ballerina, like a lot of different things like Jeopardy, pop culture Jeopardy,
yes.
who's hosting,
Yes.
who's taking over Katy Perry for American Idol. Like we're getting,
It's true.
We're getting press releases.
Okay, it's
Did
giving
Morgan
full
Wallen
circle.
and Megan Moroney date? Like we're finally getting answers.
Oh,
the theme of
that's actually
today's
so true.
episode is getting answers. Every story harks back to a story from your.
Every story harks back to a question once asked on this here platform.
And you know what? I never really like spoil all the 5 stories before the episode, and I just did. I guess now I realize it's not a good thing to do because if you just were not interested in anything I just said, like you would have turned off the episode. Not like you can't read the description of the episode and know the stories
But
beforehand.
some people don't.
But like I might have just like killed the episode for
From
you.
a business POV, we'll see how, you have to try things to know what works.
You do, but also just know if you're new here, this show is not about the stories. No. It's never been about the stories.
It never was.
And certainly in the summer, it's not about the stories.
No, it's about the swirliness and the swirliness that will bring us together.
And it's about swirly summer.
And the togetherness.
And the context of all in which that came before us.
Correct. So I think without further ado,
you think it's time for the stories?
Do you have anything else you want to say?
I don't know. I kind of want to say to them, like, do not come.
Do not come. Do not
Stories
come.
do not come. No, I guess I'm looking at the monitor. It's time. We do have a lot to discuss, and we have to like make haste with our day.
Right. We've got to head to the big city.
We're heading to the big city
to do our big show. I literally don't know what I'm wearing tonight or tomorrow night. It's so crazy.
I know what I'm wearing tonight. I think I'm good, but we also have to do like a try on before we go, yeah? To know which dresses we have to pack. But you're going to your house.
Yeah. It's like a whole thing,
I have such a busy 36 hours. Like when you see me in this seat on Monday, I'm going to be looking like a different person. I'm getting a haircut. I haven't decided yet what I'm doing, but I think I know what I'm doing.
Is there potential for like a drastic cut?
Well, drastic by your standards, yes, because every cut I get is drastic by your standards because I can only get a haircut every 6 months, so I'm not going for like just a trim. Like I need it to last.
Okay.
So definitely there will be inches. Mm-hmm. As far as like a new hairstyle, probably not. I don't think I'm in that place, and I don't think August is a time for a new hairstyle.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it is.
No, because wouldn't you have wanted that hair all summer?
Yeah, but what if it didn't work out? Thank God you only had it for half.
But now it's like my fall hair, but it's summer hair.
Yeah, that's right. We have to be thinking fall, spring, summer joggers.
I think I'll just go for the classic. Okay. And I'm really excited about that. I'm going to get a manicure, pedicure. You guys haven't seen my toes in months, and there's a reason why. It's very exciting. Oh my God. I feel like the biggest news that no one's like talking about is the redheads did not drop today.
Oh,
it's the first Thursday in August, and the redheads did not drop. And I haven't even mentioned why or what or
Do you
where.
think that the redheads are like theorizing like that, there's a breakup within the
I think
community?
this is good. If there is drama swirling, like it's good for the redheads.
Let's engage with it. Yeah, we're kind of done with Dana.
There was definitely drama with the redheads, so much so that we couldn't record.
They couldn't even be in the same room together.
And I couldn't even tell you guys about it because we were still sort of behind the scenes trying to work to fix things.
But let's be real, because we are authentic to a fault. What actually is going on with the redheads?
What's going on with the redheads is we were meant to record on Monday. We were all on our Zooms like ready to go. But the Wi-Fi in our last house, I mean, can we complain about our last house enough? But now it came for the redheads.
And that's when we knew we had to leave.
I couldn't communicate with the girls and we couldn't record. So we're recording tomorrow in the city.
In person though, so it'll be better.
Yeah, not in person actually.
Oh.
Just in your
That's
apartment.
right.
Yeah. So I'll post it as soon as it's done, probably by Monday. But yeah, like I feel bad about that because I feel like the redheads is like one constant in this crazy, crazy world.
No, it's
even though
so
we're
true.
also taking off next month because Dana. Maternity leave.
That's like a reason to celebrate.
Yeah, cause to celebrate.
So
now,
egalite, freedom, liberté.
Now that I've addressed kind of all the drama
in the room,
I feel good about embarking on the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know very appropriately are brought to you by McDonald's. So as our toasters know, we are wholeheartedly obsessed, in love, and have a lot of respect for McDonald's, the brand that they've built, the food that they serve. One of our favorite menu items of, it's hard to choose favorites. It's like, I'm sure how you feel when it comes to choosing a favorite child. Kind of depends what part of your life you're in, what part of the day almost. And McDonald's has something for everyone and for every part of the day. The Quarter Pounder with cheese is one of their, most famous, kind of most historic items for a reason. It's a burger that's so iconic, it even has its own acronym, the QPC, Quarter Pounder with Cheese. You know how Jackie and I feel about about acronyms. Like, if it can be acronized, it's going to be like...
It's worth your time.
Thank you. Sometimes it's hard to finish sentences. There's so much to love about the QPC. It's got melty cheese, crispy pickles, onions, a toasty bun, ketchup, mustard. What else do you need? Jackie, tell me, like, in an ideal scenario, how are you enjoying McDonald's?
Afternoon is when afternoon.
Okay.
What French fries and a Diet Coke? Where? In my car.
Ooh, in the car, I think is a great moment for a QPC. I think a late night QPC post, a couple of beverages, that goes down really nicely.
Why? Because I needed it.
It's that saucy, drippy, oozing with flavor vibe that truly makes the QPC a burger that napkins were made for. It's the burger worthy of a nickname, so order the QPC today. Wait before cooking 4 ounces. Fresh beef available at most restaurants in contiguous U.S., not available in Alaska, Hawaii, and U.S. territories. Today's episode is also brought to you by Nordic Naturals. Late summer can be a stressful time of year, with kids heading back to school, everyone in the whole family adjusting to new routines. Getting enough of the right nutrients can help you stay healthy during all the busyness. Omega-3s are healthy fats that benefit physical and mental well-being, and unfortunately, up to 80% of Americans don't get enough omega-3s in their diet. So a daily fish oil supplement is the most reliable source of omega-3s, and it can benefit for your brain and heart health, immune function, and so much more. In fact, omega-3s influence the function of nearly every cell in your body, making them the truly foundational nutrient. Nordic Naturals is known for their long-standing commitment to omega-3 quality, and they are the #1 selling fish oil brand in the United States. Their Ultimate Omega is an incredibly fresh and pure fish oil with no fishy aftertaste. It's sold in soft gels, liquid, and tasty gummy chews with 0 grams of sugar. I feel like that's huge. A lot of reason people don't do fish oil is because, like, the smell when you are putting it near your face, it can make you gag. No, not with Nordic Naturals. The Ultimate Omega is made to perfectly pair with non-fish oil supplements like Nordic Naturals Women Multivitamin Gummies. These tasty gummies help fill common nutritional gaps in women's diets with a mix of 12 essential vitamins. Women's Multivitamin Gummies benefit skin and hair health, bone health, energy, and immune system function. Nordic Naturals has supplements for the whole family. Visit nordic.com/toast for 20% off your next order of omega-3s, vitamins, and supplements. That's www.nordic.com/toast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Today's episode is also brought to you by the Farmer's Dog. The days are warmer, the walks are longer, and one easy way to help your dog shine this season is with fresh, healthy food from the Farmer's Dog. The Farmer's Dog makes real, fresh dog food, and it delivers it straight to your door. The recipes are developed by vet nutritionists, they're made with real meat and veggies, and they are portioned just for your dog. Makes it easy to say goodbye to burnt brown balls and feed your dog something real with real benefits. Theo was a big advocate of the Farmer's Dog, and I think that when we switched him later in life, we saw so many benefits, mostly with his breath. That was like kind of an issue for me. I'm like kind of really sensitive to people's breaths and specifically Theo's. Also, their coats can get a lot shinier. They'll just have more energy throughout the day. Their digestion will become much more regular. Their poops will be better timed, better sized, things of that nature. And also, if you're trying to manage your dog's weight, which for cavalier moms like us is always a concern, it can be really helpful. And that's kind of the biggest indicator for a dog to live a full, healthy life is their weight. So traditional dry and wet food dog options are highly processed. They can use much lower quality ingredients than they claim to, and it's really difficult to portion it. The farmer's dog is sending high quality fresh food right to your door, and it's based and portioned on their unique needs. This makes it easy to help your dog maintain their ideal weight. A fresh diet has been found to have all sorts of benefits, from healthier coat and skin, fresher breath, better digestion, smaller, better poops. So a healthy diet isn't just important for humans. It doesn't matter if your dog is young or old. There's always the right time to get them on a healthy track. So get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/toast. Plus, you're going to get free shipping, but only when you go to thefarmersdog.com/toast to get that 50% off. That's thefarmersdog.com/toast.
Thank you, /turt.
You're welcome. /jurt.
Are you ready for our first story?
I guess.
Major Olympics news.
Oh, actually, sorry. I am ready.
Oh, okay. Major Olympics news. The drama has spilled online. You know, the girls, the Golden Girls, as they call themselves, or fuck around and
The
find
Fafos.
out. Alternately named. Drama in the gymnastics world. So Simone posted the team photo of her and the Fab Five. I'm sorry,
won?
every
I know.
female gymnastics team that wins gold is the Fab Five to me.
Agreed. And which team actually was the Fast Five? Was that Gabby Douglas, Allie?
Fast Five.
Oh, Freudian slip. Which
That would
team?
be a good name for, not because of
Yes,
us, but
yes.
like that would just be if they're like really speedy.
Yeah, totally.
And they're all
Yeah.
gymnasts.
Which team actually was the Fab Five? Allie Raisman, Gabby Douglas?
MyKayla Moroney,
Yeah.
London. Because I'm still in London, like I
Yeah,
said.
it's
I actually
true.
saw a comment that made me feel so seen. She was like, I'm a little bit older than you. And the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, like those are my Olympics.
Oh.
Like that's where I stay.
Yeah, I think we all have, as girls, like we all have a gymnastics team in a specific Olympic year that kind of makes us who we are.
What's yours?
Where did Allie Raisman do Havanagila? Like that's mine.
London.
Okay. So long, London. That's us.
Yeah.
You
I guess
know-
we're the same. So why would
You
we
know
have
we
different?
love a London girl.
We're only a year and a half apart. So why would we have
We're
different?
so close.
We're so close in age.
Actually, no, I feel like you're like old. So
No,
like,
I know.
I'm actually like
I was
not.
waiting for you to be offended.
I'm not even like remotely close to you in any which way.
So you really like the Rio Olympics?
Yeah. Because that's where all the young girls go. And actually, I'm more of like a Tokyo, Paris girl, you know, like all the other young hot things. Oh my God, I met a young hot thing in the beach club locker room yesterday. She was so young and she was obsessed, and she's coming to our live show tonight. I was like,
Yeah, we were literally like
Naked?
showering like naked mole rats, scrubbing off old spray tan
Yeah.
for new spray tan. And she was like, I'm so excited.
I was like, no, you're literally 11.
Yeah, that got me excited too.
Me too. Just see like a young hot thing.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, back to the story because it's so interesting.
Back to the story. So it's layered. Simone posted the group photo when they won, and she captioned it saying, lack of talent, lazy Olympic champions emojis.
So I think that raised a lot of, red flags for people, because that's not how you would describe this group. So she must be referring to something.
Right. So what she's
was.
referring to is a former teammate named MyKayla Skinner, who did compete with Simone back in the day, had taken to her
YouTube
channel and talked about this year's gymnastics team. And she said,
I think this was like a year ago.
yeah, she said, besides Simone, the girls just don't have the work ethic.
Yeah, she like made this weird rant. She had like watched some, qualifying match, and she was just kind of giving her thoughts as somebody who was a part of the organization. And she basically said
It
that
was
like
weeks ago, by the way.
Oh,
not a
weeks
year.
ago.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
I think when the team was named, probably.
Got it. She remarked on how the energy within the organization has felt like, to use her words, there was like a lack of work ethic and not as cutthroat since the Marta days. Now,
She said that in her video.
yes, she referenced Marta.
Okay, and she said that there was a lack of, quote, talent and depth.
So Marta, if anybody watched that Larry Nassar documentary, Marta and you probably
Marta Caroli.
Yeah, if you follow gymnastics, like Marta was that bitch. She was like the head coach, head of the program. She was very cutthroat. And in the documentary, they touched on like how a lot of her practices and methods were like really controversial, but more so, they didn't say this in these exact words, but she kind of created an environment where something like the Larry Nassar abuse was able to happen. And they didn't outright say that she knew, but that was the type of environment that she had created.
Yeah, because it wasn't a safe environment. And this is just an aside, but now circles back to that. I was looking at MyKayla Moroney's Instagram yesterday, partly due to this story. And I saw that she had posted about Allie Raceman when she went on Call Her Daddy. She's like, I'm so proud of you for sharing your story. Like, we were raised in an environment where it was like, no matter what was going on with you, when you were asked, are you okay? Your answer has to be yes. So like, not even my ankle hurts, but like, I'm being abused. I have to say yes.
No, and also that was a big part of Simone's documentary. Actually, not even a big part that I had seen. She just referenced it when she like kind of broke down in Tokyo. And I had forgotten that she was a Larry Nassar victim. And she was like, I never like worked through that. I just sort of thought I was okay and moved on because I really felt okay in the moment. But it occurred to me like years later, like I actually was really not okay. So her referencing Marta was just kind of this lightning rod moment too, because when you think of Marta, you think of that time and you think of Larry Nassar and how it was just a really toxic organization. So for her to be like, it's not like that anymore, that's a good thing.
Right.
And it was just a really bad take. And also the take nobody asked for, like, please. She deleted it immediately and she released a statement shortly after apologizing. And I think she thought like it was over. And I don't know if she, thought Simone had ever seen it or any of the girls had seen it. I think she probably thought she was marked safe after her apology.
Or that they saw it and they were upset with her, but like, the wave of news had ended and maybe she lost some friends and she regretted it.
Simone made this her caption, like a direct
shot back.
And if that wasn't enough, like all the girls commented, like very clearly acknowledging MyKayla. MyKayla Moroney even commented being like, ugh, such a bad time to be named MyKayla. I think she wants to like mark herself, like say like, this isn't me.
Because I think people, when they think of like a former gymnast named MyKayla, like
1000%.
It's MyKayla Moroney.
1000%.
But no, it's MyKayla Skinner who competed in Tokyo. And then some of the other girls commented on Simone's post backing her up. Like Suni Lee said, put a finger down if Simone Biles just ended you.
So they're like not pretending, like they're not being subtle, like they're being extremely direct. And then Jordan Childs posted a picture of Simone's phone on MyKayla's profile blocked.
Oh, I didn't
know that.
So
it's getting like really crazy. So I have a lot of thoughts on it. Like MyKayla Skinner was so wrong for that. Like it's such a bad take. And especially, it's so insensitive, like especially given what went on there. And if MyKayla Skinner was there at that time and she wasn't a victim of Larry Nassar, like she really should shut the fuck up, like for real. But I kind of hate that like these girls who are having this insane moment, especially Simone, like coming back from everything she came back from, like she comes to social media to acknowledge and celebrate. And I'm all for clapping back at your haters. And there are so many people who had nasty things to say about Simone in Tokyo. I just like, I don't know, she's having this queenie moment and she's acknowledging a weenie.
Yeah.
I like kind of hate that. It's like, girl, it's like punching down. Like she's so irrelevant.
And most of us, well, actually, I think I had heard what MyKayla Skinner had said, but I think most people who don't live on the internet, like, have no idea what that she said that. Like, it gives a platform to this thing that like you hated
this
so much.
take.
And it's like, it really bothered her. And I understand when like it's something massive, like if someone does a hit piece, which we'll get to next, or like some Taylor and Kim equals, like we're never letting that, like that's your Roman Empire. But like for it to be this person who on her YouTube channel that like no one saw, like it's just, why make your huge moment about that? But I also feel like Simone probably felt like she wanted to defend her teammates.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, when you actually read the transcript of what MyKayla said, she very clearly states she's not talking about Simone. So she really, that's true. Simone like did use her platform to defend her teammates, which is admirable.
Like from this, no offense, like irrelevant actor.
But I think in their community, like she's not.
Yeah.
She's a former Olympian. Like in the global scale, like who?
But I feel like this would have been a better clap back in a comment somewhere, on a story. But like for the post that lives on your feed that memorializes this forever, for it to be about the small negative when it's overwhelmingly positive. Like, I feel that way. I say that all the time about us, to acknowledge like one negative person when there's millions of people, not us, millions for her, billions for her that are cheering her on. Like, look at the light.
No, it's such a healthy mindset. But when you are Simone, like, it's so much easier said than done. And there is something that feels really good about bringing someone down who tried to bring you down, Yeah. And I so understand that. My take is like, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, obsessed. And then the more I thought about it, it's like, this is such a big moment for Simone for so many reasons. One, because it is a big comeback. Two, she's making history. Three, she's, the oldest Olympian. She now has the most decorated. So there's so many reasons to celebrate. And there's so many reasons why this is such a big deal, such a historic moment.
And it's not because she proved MyKayla Skinner wrong.
And I don't want MyKayla anywhere near it.
Yeah.
So I feel conflicted about it. Like, because part of me is always like, yes, drag her to filth. But part of me is also like, you are experiencing something right now like that will be remembered for hundreds of years. Like we will be referencing Simone as long as gymnastics exists. And like I don't want like this freak a part of it.
Yeah. And now the story is about her so much more than it was ever.
That's sort of the unintended consequence always of like, you know, wanting to drag someone down. When you're up here and they're down here, you're bringing them up.
Yeah. And also, I feel like if this were the narrative about the team, like in the meet, like if it's what everyone was saying, then yeah. Lazy. There you go. In your face. It's one person, and it's not like it's the head of gymnastics. It's not like it's Marta Caroli, you know, spewing hate.
No, and it's not like MyKayla Skinner made this video and everyone was like, finally, you're saying what we've all been thinking. Everyone was like, girl, this is not it. Like, delete. And she did. So yeah, it wasn't this overwhelming consensus about the team. It's not like
the narrative that they debunked.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It's true. So I have conflicting feelings, but at the end of the day, like, stan Simone.
Oh, of course.
Whatever she chooses to do. Oh, did you see her husband's getting dragged?
They're young girls. I don't want to, they're young girls. Like everything is like, they've been in this gymnastics world. It's a very small world. There's a lot of drama. What the youngest Olympian
16
is 16. Like this is how you react to things at that age.
It's so true.
So I don't want to, like, just because it's on a world stage, like you just have to remember, like
these
it's
are young girls.
Girly things.
It's like giving like high school.
Yeah.
Did you see that her husband is getting dragged because they took a picture and he was wearing her medal? It's like, oh, you didn't know who he was. The thing is, everybody needs to stop coming for Jonathan Owens. Like he was an integral part in her comeback. I'm sorry, he was. He's so supportive. Leave it alone. Like I'm serious. Like I'm done. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Leave the man alone.
Do other people's husbands wear their medal for a picture?
Like probably. If I even knew someone,
is there precedent?
Right. If I knew someone with an Olympic medal, I'd be like, give me it.
Yeah.
Like that, I feel like it's just a part, like when you have an Oscar, people come over and like fake make speeches. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. But just with him, there's like a sensitivity.
Of course. But like now I'm in that place where I feel the need to defend him even before I know what he did.
Agreed, because it's very clear.
She's a good stabilizing force. And
she's so happy.
Yeah.
I think a huge part of her comeback was like, and her healing journey. She says like therapy is a huge part of. It's easy to like open up, I think, in therapy about things you've been through when you're at a place where you feel really happy and really safe. And a good husband, a good partner can do that. So everybody leave him alone, like for real.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
And she has so many medals. Like
by the way, it's so true.
It's just another one.
I will say we've been clowning on Paris. I have seen like, you know, close-ups of the medal. They're really beautiful. Every medal from different Olympics are not all equal. They don't look the same. They have like, you know, Parisian craftsmanship.
This one has a bit of the Eiffel Tower. A piece for everyone. A piece for Simone Biles. It's partial spring fling queen.
It's quite beautiful.
Okay.
It's very beautiful.
So that's in the Paris Plus column.
Yep.
To negate the Sen that we like trashed. Well, that was
they trashed.
They trashed and we trashed that.
Correct.
Okay, that's your Olympics update for the day.
I think that's everything. I know a lot happened. I can't, like, everyone's like, you missed. I know. Ilona Maher, like, queen, she got a medal. Like, I know. I'm, like, trying to keep up with everything. But the big stories are the big stories. Katy Ledecky.
Yeah, and then the French male swimmer.
Merchant. Mm-hmm. He's very cute. Swimmers are extremely hot. Like, there's just something about being a swimmer. Like, even if you don't have, like, the hottest face, like, you are hot.
Yeah. I think people... would agree with that.
Yeah. I think like we need to just like be talking more about swimmers and their
feel like people talk about it. Like I feel like in college, like we had a good swim team and people would be like the swim team.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. The swim team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready for our next story?
Yes.
Ballerina Farm has spoken out in a major way. So after days of the internet doing its thing, she has finally responded to the Times article in two ways.
Very directly, might I add.
Very directly. We thought Dairy Date Night was her response.
And by the way, I don't know her.
That was probably like scheduled content.
Literally. I don't know her. Like, she's not someone who I follow and like I feel like I know how she would react. I just assumed she would have let this go. And I feel like she's just not the person who directly responds. I might not be right because I don't really, up until this moment, I haven't like followed her so deeply.
No, and my thought was that she put her phone in a drawer and was like out on the farm.
Unplugged.
Ignoring it. But no, not at all. She's
one of us.
She's taking the time. And it actually, typically my thought is like, you don't owe anyone a response. That's like usually my
take.
My frame of mind. But like, I think the way that she's handled this is really lovely. And it makes me rethink that.
Yep.
So she responded in two parts. First, she posted a video. It was kind of day in the life stuff with a voiceover. And this is what the voiceover said. She said, quote, "A couple of weeks ago, we had a reporter come into our home to learn more about our family and business. We thought the interview went really well. We were taken aback, however, when we saw the printed article, which shocked us and shocked the world by being an attack on my family and my marriage. She said, now they're recapping the story. She said, this couldn't be further from the truth when claiming that the profile portrayed her husband as a
oppressor,
being the culprit of her oppression.
When she literally said the word oppressor, I was like, oh, she's really responding. I thought she was just this whole time going to be like vague. No, she's going like extremely direct.
She said this couldn't be further from the truth. She added that she believes that the article's angle was predetermined before the interview started. She said, quote, together we have built a business from scratch. We've brought 8 children into this world and have prioritized our marriage along the way. She also said she wants more kids.
I know.
I was like, go Ballerina, go.
Oh my God, I was shocked.
But they're each one of 9. And
right.
I feel like that's a fact that was not included in the article. Mm-hmm. That fact gives color to their life.
It's very
like,
true.
You don't just come from 2 kids and it's like, I want to have 9 kids.
It's true.
Like if you were part of 9 and you like the way that you grew up, you would want to have a big family too for both of them. Like I think the fact that that wasn't in the article is so telling. That was one of the first things that I saw in the second thing she put out. And I was like, oh, well, so of course they want to have 9 kids.
Yeah. No, that was something
more.
I learned like on my own when I became obsessed with this story and like started watching TikToks and learning more about her and him.
Yeah. So she said, we've prioritized our marriage all along the way. We are co-parents, co-CEOs, co-diaper changers, kitchen cleaners, and decision makers. She said her and Daniel still have many dreams to accomplish. We aren't done having babies. And then she also posted on her Instagram a follow-up with a written story. It's called Read Our Story. She said, so that we could get to know them, you know, what the article should have told us.
Right. And it was, you know, kind of like a history of them, like when they met, or even before they met, how she grew up, when she became a dancer, when they met, when they were a young family with 3 kids, they lived in Rio, like literally the front, you know, timeline of everything.
And the part that I think the interviewer really glazed over and swept with a broad brush that, you know, she got pregnant at Juilliard against her will. She was the first pregnant Juilliard student. She said that in a negative way. Mm-hmm. Hannah said it in such a proud way. Like, and by the way, that's awesome that she graduated from ballerina school with a newborn. That means that like she was still in school her entire pregnancy. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that is so cool. Mm-hmm. And then they moved somewhere new. They fell in love with farming. And that was something that she came from that lifestyle.
Yes, by the way, the explanation of how they became like obsessed with the business of farming was so interesting, because when they lived in Rio, I guess that's like a big way of life in Brazil. A lot of people do that sort of, I forgot what she called it, but like farm whatever.
Yeah, and also it was like a farm B&B that they were staying in.
And they just literally, when they lived in Brazil, started accumulating animals from like the side of the road and would like domesticate them and, you know, live with them. And that's how they became obsessed. Like there's an actual story. It's not, you know, she got kidnapped by her husband and he is obsessed with farming and he's like wants her to farm. It really, I think this was a brilliant move by her, because it really does give context to all the things that were implied and alluded to in that original article.
Yeah, and she's telling the same story as that article, but like with adding facts. Color, adding how she actually felt about things. And that must have, now reading this and seeing like how much she's always wanted to be a mother and get married and have a family. And I liked how she said, like, I grew up in a family business. I thought you just like get married, have kids and start a family business, which is exactly what she's done. So it's not like that crazy to her. So again, even her talking about how her parents had like a flower business is very helpful. An important detail in learning how she ended up being in like a family business as well. But like the author really did make it seem like she got pregnant and she didn't want to be pregnant, and then she just like kept having kids. And it's like, no, these were all things that she wanted. She literally had to say in this article that Henry, her firstborn, was not a mistake. Like imagine someone putting out into the world that was, and he could read that one day.
The thing is, at the end of the day, this article, I mean, this whole saga has been so divisive. And I don't know if at this point, like anybody who read the original article and believed truly that Hannah is a woman whose dreams were stolen and who lives in an oppressed, abused household, I don't know if this explanation is going to do anything for them, because they're thinking at this point is like, well, of course she's going to say that she's living with an abuser. This is what abused people do. And they're not wrong about that. That is what abused people do. But to believe this original article and now operate under, you know, everything that girl said being true, well, you can't live like that, because you could assume anyone walking around, how are you? I'm good. Well, no, you're not. She's living with an she's being very clear, and I think we just have to believe her. She has said in no uncertain terms, my husband is not an oppressor. I don't live in like a controlled abuse household. We are co-parents. We are co-business owners.
Quote, I love my life.
I chose my life. And she said that in the interview. She said that I heard an audio clipping of it in the podcast that the author did. So we have to believe this woman. Like seriously, we have to stop.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really been for me like sad to watch. Like the fact, you're right, that she had to say like, this was a mistake. I mean, he wasn't a mistake, excuse me, is so sad. And this whole saga like is sad.
No, and like your dreams change. Yeah, growing up, you want to be a ballerina, and then you grow up some more and you want to do other things. And she still dances, and she was dancing in Sao Paulo,
Brazil,
and she was doing pageants to pay for school, and she does pageants now. Like they morph.
Yeah.
You're not a child forever.
No, it's true. And I think the fact that she did, grow up and she was a ballerina, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And even a ballerina will tell you can't be a ballerina forever.
And she wouldn't be Ballerina Farm if she hadn't been a ballerina.
And then I think at the end, she really also addressed, because there's, this thing going around on the internet that he stole her dreams, forced her to live on a farm, and named the farm Ballerina Farm to remind her every day of what she lost. And she actually shares the story at the end of her self-written article about why they chose the name Ballerina Farm. And it was actually her brother chose it.
Yeah.
And it was like a sweet story about how they came to that conclusion and how much she loves it. Like it's not this forlorn, cryptic, haunted story. It's sweet.
But to me, the fact that their farm is called Ballerina Farm, like, has always meant to me that like she leads in the business. Like it's about her. And I don't think any man who is, as they described him, would want his wife to be, that he would be like, it's me, I'm the one.
Right.
I'm the ballerina. Yeah, I love to dance.
Twirl me around, man.
Yeah, I just think that's incongruous with the picture that they painted of him.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, I actually really like how she handled this from like a PR perspective. I think sadly, things like this, like rising tides, rise all tides. In the moment, I think it's probably been devastating for her and her family. In the long run, I think this is probably going to be huge for her business. And when you're in the business,
I'm looking at that cookie box. It was pricey, but you got a lot of baked goods.
When you're in the business of like influencing content creation, like things like this, big global conversations, even though what people are saying is really hard to hear, it is good for business. So let that be a positive in this insane story.
Yeah, but I think in the priority list of their life, like family is over business, and I think that it's like hurt their family in the sense that it hurt their feelings. Like this is, and I'm sure her husband's like,
what the fuck?
Sad.
No, and I don't think we will literally ever have an art like a profile done on Ballerini ever again.
But if you ever want to come on the toast, we would love to have you.
And our track record reflects that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy when I think so many people said that to me, like within a minute of it being posted.
DMs sent a post by Ballerina Farm. I think this is the end of the story.
Me too.
So go forth, Ballerina. Keep twirling.
Go forth and twirl.
Are you ready for our next story?
Yeah.
The new judge of American Idol has been announced, and Carrie Underwood will be replacing Katy Perry on American Idol. Also full circle in so many ways.
So many ways. And I'm shocked that this is the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, where a American Idol, either winner or star from the show, has come back to be a judge permanently.
Yeah, it's kind of a brilliant no-brainer idea. I guess it was kind of crazy that Kelly went to The Voice, and we noted that when she did.
We did note it briefly. The fact that it's not spoken about more as one of the greatest betrayals, it's seriously the craziest thing.
I think Kelly has mixed feelings about American Idol.
I think almost every single person who's come from that show has very mixed feelings about it.
Because I think she'll always be grateful for it. She performed, she went back piece by piece. But I think the contract that it locked her into after got her to a really bad place.
Yeah, there was a time in American Idol's heyday, the American Idol doesn't have the influence now that it once did. And there was a time where if you made it to the top like 7, you were going to have a career. And so many of the people who we know from American Idol didn't even win. Daughtry, Jennifer Hudson, Lauren Elena, Scotty McCreery. Actually, Scotty McCreery did win. How did I get here? Oh yeah, at the time when it was really popping and was making music careers happen, those first couple of years after the show, you were locked in a contract that really had the potential to destroy you. And some people never made it out alive. And I know we talk about him all the time as a joke, but I think that's what happened to Philip Phillips. Because if some of those younger folks might not remember, when Philip Phillips ended, he won, and he had that song. Seriously, he was John Mayer. Like he opened for John Mayer. I saw him once. And the fact that he's not as big as Carrie Underwood, like that I think is due in large part to those contracts.
Yeah. Like just making music you don't want to make, working
for no
incredibly
money.
hard, and you have to graduate from that chapter, and then you can have the career that you want. If you can make it out of there, still being like relevant and even into doing this,
wanting to do it. I think a lot of it is like Simon Cowell, because something really similar happened with Fifth Harmony when they They didn't even win, but Simon was like, you're my girls. And he gave them a contract. And I think it was so bad. They were working so hard. They were splitting all that money 5 ways. They were performing in malls. Like, seriously, I think they were so unhappy. I think people always talk about the breaking up of Fifth Harmony. Like, the girls didn't get along. And there was some of that, like competition. But they were in such a horrible contract. And some of the girls like Dinah Jane and Allie have spoken about it since. It was like child labor.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a little bit, Simon Cowell.
Yeah, and I'm sure for the ones who haven't spoken about it, they're the more successful ones.
Of course, because you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you.
No, and it's like that was the price that you paid for where you are now, like Camila Cabello, Havana, like every song straight to the top except for the most recent ones.
Carrie Underwood, like you aren't going to complain about this platform because even though they were a rough few years, she's the biggest woman in country.
Yeah.
You can't. And so I think if you look at this on the surface, it's really sweet that she's coming home, but I do feel like it's very complicated.
She's coming home, and it's cool. There'll now be 2 country artists because Luke Bryan too. But Carrie Underwood is just like
she's crossed over. Yeah,
she's just general star. Some other names that were in the mix though were Miley Cyrus.
Would have loved, but she's done The Voice. I do feel like you have a non-compete for X amount of years.
Justin Bieber.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Also, Pink and Meghan Trainor allegedly were thrown around as well.
Okay, I think both would have been really good. Pink,
I don't think Justin Bieber would have been good.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think Pink would have been amazing, but I actually think she's too busy. I think Meghan Trainor would have been a really inspired choice because these cable shows really struggled to get young people to watch their show. And let me tell you something about Meghan Trainor. When I went to a concert, it was like this women in music. I went because like Kelsey Ballerini and Elle King and Meghan Trainor was performing, and I actually really like her music, but I'm not like a huge fan of hers. Let me tell you, the girls were screaming. She has real influence with a young community, and I think that actually would have been really good for them.
I think also from a show perspective, because I always think about who will give really good critique. I think Meghan Trainor really would. She's very musically talented. Like she's a songwriter before she's a pop singer.
Who can help? Like who can usher this youth, young talent and actually give helpful advice, not just be like, sing louder.
Yeah. Yeah. And also like you need a Simon. Take out the contracts thing and Factor. Like you need that personality. And I don't think that they have that.
No, it kind of was Katy. She was always getting, remember how many stories have we said on here, like inappropriate things she said? If at the time when
but
Simon.
If the inappropriate things were about the singing, it would have been okay. Yeah. Instead, it's about
Get
the
on
laying
your
on
back.
the table.
Yeah. She had like a rough couple of years. But imagine if when like Simon Cowell, the heyday of American Idol, imagine if like the media was like how it is now when we operate in this sort of like political record. Oh my God, he would have been fired. Do you think about all the articles could have been written about him? So times are so different. All that to say, I love this.
I love this too. I think it's inspired. We don't know a lot of her personality, so
it's true.
We'll get to see more of it.
I also like I'm ready for the big performance. Obviously, they're going to kick off the season with a Carrie Underwood performance, and maybe it'll be like a journey through the years of all of her music. And what song did she sang in her American Idol audition, like a classic country song? What was it?
Jesus Take the Wheel. I'm kidding.
Oh, by the way, literally. Okay, wait. Hold on. I'm just trying to paint like.
But also back to what you just said.
What song did Carrie Underwood audition for American Idol for?
Maybe a Simon Cowell like can't exist.
He can't.
In this day and age. But then it makes me think about Mr. Wonderful. I feel like he is a really great shark who gives like honest, true feedback. Not the kindest all the time, but like nothing that like goes viral as being so offensive.
That's true.
So like it can be done.
It can be done. She sang Young Hearts Run Free. I'm not familiar with it.
She's so awesome.
She is. I think this is great. And she turns out looks. If you're like a woman on a competition show, especially ones that have like live episodes, you have to be churning out glam. And she can do it.
Yeah.
She can do it. And I think this is also good for Katy Perry. I do think like while American Idol was a great place for her to like rehabilitate her image with the new music, like it's time, she needs to move on.
Yeah.
She's struggling though. But
is the goal of these shows to have like 3 judges forever and it's iconic, or like to keep it fresh? And
yes, keep it fresh.
I like the first model better.
I know, but that model was the model we grew up on.
But I don't work in television, as I said the other day. Like it's important to not listen to me. As long as it's working for you. And is it working for American Idol?
I think when it comes to the music competition landscape, they are losing. And they invented the landscape, and The Voice totally eclipsed them.
I feel that way about The Voice too. I'm like, bring back Adam and Blake and CeeLo.
No.
What if they did one season of all the OGs?
That would be fun. That would be fun.
That's still like fresh, new, old blood.
Yeah.
As they said in Lessons in Chemistry, new blood is just old blood recirculated.
She was so right for that.
She was so right for that.
So I like this. All that to say, approved. It's got the turdy Stamp of approval.
Agreed. Are you ready for our fourth story?
If it's our fourth story, that's brought to you by Resort Pass, perchance.
Perchance it is.
You know we love Resort Pass, kind of one of the sponsors we don't want to do ads for because we don't want people knowing
Because
about
we
it.
want to gatekeep.
So Resort Pass provides exclusive day passes to luxury hotels, pools, cabanas, and spas without needing to stay overnight at the property. So Resort Pass partners with over 1,300 of the world's best hotels, and they offer the same and next day booking. With a few simple clicks, you can transform an average day into an escape from the ordinary and create moments of connection that will last a lifetime. There is no membership fee with Resort Pass. Some day passes start as low as $25. I know you living in Florida, like Resort Pass was actually made for you.
Yeah.
And you've done it a couple of times.
Done it a couple of times. We had the best days using Resort Pass because before I knew about Resort Pass and before it existed, like I would get a hotel room for one night just to use the amenities at a hotel. We live in such a vacation state, so there are so many great hotels and beaches, and you just want to be able to use it for the day. I can sleep at my house.
Right.
And when I heard about Resort Pass, I was like, oh my God, this is made for me. You can just go to a pool, you can go to the beach, you can get a cabana, you have access to all of the amenities that you would have if you stayed there, but you don't have to just pay for a room needlessly.
No, this is one of the things I can't believe I didn't invent.
Yeah.
In the city, like especially in the summer, so many hotels have pools and there are like no pools in the city. Resort Pass is brilliant. Also, like, you know how expensive gyms are? Get a Resort Pass. You want to go work out. Like it's really, it's so smart.
You want to go spend the day at the spa. Hotels like are amazing.
They're amazing.
They
but
have
like
everything.
not for sleeping
you
sometimes.
You want to just even like sit in the lobby, go to the bar, just like enjoy, have some warm nuts.
No, also like looking for things to do as a family is really challenging.
Yeah,
And
so many resorts have water slides, theme parks.
so visit resortpass.com/toast to get $20 off your first Resort Pass experience. That's resortpass.com/toast. Today's episode is finally brought to you by Quince. One day I'm not wearing my Quince sweater. I wear it every day. So
it's in the wash.
Quince is everything, and shifting your wardrobe from summer to fall is always a challenge. Luckily, Quince offers timeless and high-quality items that we adore, but they ensure that our budget stays fresh and we're not blowing it. So Jackie and I are always talking about like building a wardrobe without, like I'm done buying disposable clothes. There were a couple of years where I was just like, okay, the cheaper, the better. I can wear it once and it'll literally start disintegrating on my body. Quince is the total opposite of that. And I'm definitely focusing like in the last year on building a wardrobe of good pieces, investing in less stuff, but better stuff. Quince is a great place to do that because their products are amazing. They're really well made, but they're also really conscious of pricing. So they've got cashmere sweaters from $50, pants for every occasion, washable silk tops. The best part about Quince is that all their items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They do that by partnering directly with top factories. They're cutting out the cost of the middleman and they're passing the savings on to you. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. I've got cashmere sweaters from Quince. I've got great knit cardigans I've got great, classic black trousers, like staple pieces. They're not crazy looking. They're really good. I can wear them many times a week and you won't even know. So make switching seasons a breeze with Quince and their high-quality closet essentials. Go to quince.com/toast for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/toast to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/toast.
Thank you, /turt.
You're welcome.
Our next story, a little more Queen of Country news.
Oh,
because
yes.
country singer Megan Moroney is finally addressing the Morgan Wallen dating rumors.
This was a story, like, for a brief moment in time, I thought nothing of. Like, I thought of nothing but. Like, I was so focused. This was like a great mystery to me. And I will say the answer is not what I expected.
But it makes sense.
Yeah.
So Megan Moroney, who is an rising quickly country star, if you don't know her, she's fabulous and gorgeous and her music is wonderful and she's so talented.
And she is. And like, it just bears, I know every time we talk about her, like I say this, but I want everyone to know, like I invented Megan Moroney. She made a TikTok like of a song she was writing and it ended up being that song.
Tennessee Orange?
No.
The hair salon.
What's that song called? Whatever. She like played a chorus of it before she was like even remotely famous and it went a little viral and I saved it to my favorites and I literally made a comment and I was like, can't wait for you to release this. I have been on the Megan Moroney train since negative day one. Like, don't even start with me. I invented her in this family.
You did. And it's literally on an episode of Toast Radio. We're talking about our favorite song. Oh,
No,
no, not
I just
Toast
know-
Radio. It was like 2022 at a glance. And you said your favorite songs of the year. You said Tennessee Orange, Jackie. You should listen to it. You would love it. And then it was my favorite song of the next year.
Okay, because I could just see in like 5 years when she's huge, Margot being like, I knew her first.
No, it's literally on record.
Thank you. But I will bring it up every time she comes up.
However, speaking of Tennessee Orange, so if you listen to the song, which by the way you should, whether you like country music or not, like it's a beautiful song, and she talks about becoming a Tennessee fan.
When she's from Georgia, and if you like know
they
sports,
have like a big
it's like
rivalry, Georgia versus Tennessee, and she's wearing Tennessee Orange for him, and you know it's a big scandal. And people have long speculated that it was about Morgan Wallen for a number of reasons, but he is like Mr. Tennessee.
He's Mr. Tennessee, and like a kind of important video that she had recorded in wearing that. I mean, singing that song. She's wearing a shirt that is literally Morgan Wallen's. Like
he has the same shirt.
Yeah, and it's like kind of stained. Like it's exactly the same.
And then years ago, she was asked about that shirt, and she did confirm that it was his, but she didn't say like in what sort of context. She said it's his shirt, but it's just a shirt.
And when
so it's like, maybe he left it at the studio.
Right. And we talked about this when it was happening. My thought process on the whole thing was like, actually, they weren't dating. I just thought that I think that they knew each other, and he was like helping her in her career by being like, sure, you could tell people we're dating. Like, we're friends, but let him think it boosted the song. He's the biggest star in country. Everybody always wants to know who he's dating. I thought he was helping her out. That's really, for all these years, that's what I thought.
And this is what she said. So she was on Call Her Daddy, and she said that she never exclusively dated Morgan Wallen, but they were once romantically involved. She said, quote, it was never a relationship. She met him during the COVID pandemic in 2020 when she was still a senior in college. Now she's 26 and he's 31. So there's a 5-year difference between them. She said, quote, so we were friends for a long time, but we were not just friends. Although the pair had a little fling, she clarified that they were never officially dating. She said it wasn't hard keeping their fling a secret due to his very private lifestyle. She said, quote, like I said, we weren't exclusively dating ever. And I think both of our schedules, like when we would try to hang out, it'd be like, okay, we have this one day of the whole month where we're maybe both in town. She tried to avoid addressing the nature of their relationship for years, but she says she feels like enough time has passed. Although things have fizzled out between them, she said all is well and they've remained friends.
Okay, so I feel like this is like extremely relatable for like a lot of girlies. Like it was a situationship. Like they were probably just like hooking up, and it wasn't that serious, and maybe one of them wanted it to be more serious, but like it just never got to that place, and like whatever.
Yes, I just want to say like they could be the next Trisha and Garth.
Jackie, I completely agree.
Faith and Tim.
It's hard to talk about this story without thinking about what could have been. And by the way, there's still potential.
What could be? I think he needs to grow up a lot.
Yeah.
I think that it's good for her to be doing her thing, not attached to him. Like she's coming up and people like she's so respected and doing amazing things. I feel like if she was just like his girlfriend, people might try to diminish like everything. So I think right now like they shouldn't be together, but I'm holding space for a future.
I completely
George
agree.
And Tammy, even though they were only together for like 4 years and then she like was with someone else for the rest of her life.
It's very hard to ship anyone with Morgan Wallen because like, yes, it's a nice idea, but like he's literally awful.
He's disturbed.
He has a lot of issues. He just threw that chair off the roof. Like I actually wouldn't wish for anyone I know personally to like be in a relationship. I think it's like being in a relationship with him is an emotional roller coaster, and I think it's really hard.
My wish for him is to get well and then be in a relationship that I can fully ship. And also like Megan and Morgan, I could see the docuseries in 20 years, just like George and Tammy. It's even better.
It's even better. I agree. So anytime we ship them, if we don't say it, it's important to know we also, you know, as a precursor to the shipping is a wellness journey for him.
Yeah. And I really think that he needs to do that before he could be in a serious relationship. We've been saying that
for like 10
sometimes
years.
Like you meet the right person and they whip you into shape. I think for him it's more than that.
Yeah, and I just think we always think that it's happening. Like when he became a father, we were like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
And then he took that time off, and I think he got some help, and we were like, okay, this is it. And it's just like not ever been the time.
Yeah.
When will it be?
It's very like Jax Taylor. That's what I was saying.
Oh my God, Morgan Wallen is Jax Taylor.
So I will always like hope when he's taking the time that this is the time because I root for people.
We were rooting for you.
But
wait, that's the most amazing comparison. Morgan Wallen is Jax Taylor.
I just had this feeling of saying like
yesterday.
You're doing this in earnest. I'm cheering for you. I don't really believe you.
Correct.
But just because I've been burned by you.
Oh my God, no, that's like really well put.
Thank you.
I love that.
So they dated, super cute. I wonder if that makes like all these awards a little awkward. Like it's, even though they're friends, sure, like it's awkward.
For sure. But love that for Megan Moroney. Like girls coming up and she got Morgan Wallen. Like love that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a flex.
Major. Same for him.
It's a flex like where she's from.
And same for him.
No, of course.
Yeah. Are you ready for our fifth and final story?
I am, but can we just take a moment to appreciate how beautiful Romeo looks?
We can.
He's kind of the star of today's show.
Good.
They're being so good.
They were like kissing at the beginning of the show. I think that's on camera.
Oh, good. People need to see that. Like true love.
They love each other so much.
They do. And you know what it reminds me of? feel like this is a movie line I quote that like didn't like hit people as much as it hit me.
Okay.
Your dogs are gay.
I think it did hit people.
From Legally Blonde 2.
Bruno's definitely pansexual because he's just a lover.
Yeah.
Like he says to me, Mom, that's amore.
Right.
I say, okay, Bruno, do what you got to do.
Romeo is more demisexual, where he really, really needs to get to know someone, anyone, on a deep, deep level before he can even think about like romantic. And I think him and Bruno started off like Romeo was a little trepidatious, but now after living together, they definitely have a deep,
captured his heart. And Theo was asexual.
Theo was definitely asexual. Like he could not be bothered to talk or like interact with anyone. That was my mature king right there. Like rip.
And I think Magnolia is bisexual.
I think Magnolia is trisexual. Like she'll try anything once. You know, she's kind of like loose, you know? That's what I think.
Oh, they're so funny.
They're so beautiful.
They are.
Look at this king. He like wants me to stop bothering him. Okay.
Are you ready for our fifth and final story?
I am.
Colin Jost has been named the host of Pop Culture Jeopardy on Amazon Prime Video. So after searching the world, the job a million girls would have killed for goes to Colin Jost.
And like, what?
The SNL Weekend Update co-anchor has another new job, host of Pop Culture Jeopardy. They announced the show was coming up in May, and now they have announced that he will be the host of it. It says Colin's sharp wit and intelligence epitomize Pop Culture Jeopardy, the president of game shows at Sony Pictures TV said. He's smart and quick like our contestants, and we know he'll be able to keep up with them while making this new series his own.
No, I hate
We cannot
this.
be happier that he is joining us for this new journey. When I saw this, I didn't have any feeling. So not good, not bad. But now really in digging deeper, my bigger question is, why would he want to do this? This is so unserious. Like, this is what you want to be. This is a job an influencer would get.
No, and it's also a little lowbrow because to like talk about pop culture when you are a part of popular culture, like your wife is literally Scarlett Johansson, it poses, that's like what Joan Rivers always said, like you can never have a seat at the table if you are talking about the table.
Yeah.
And so this just feels off brand for Colin because he's so famous.
And I feel like he could have been a contender for hosting Real Jeopardy. And I don't think anyone who should have been up for that should be up for PCJ.
And I'm sorry, like this job needed to go to a girl. Like, and when I was envisioning who they were going to choose, it was always a woman. Pop culture is for the girls. Like what? Get out of here.
I agree.
Creep. Like go away.
And it's like his part of SNL. I know he writes, okay? But the part that he's known for is like very serious. It's like the news part.
Yep.
So you're the news and you're this pop culture girly swirly.
I hate this. And I wish I had someone who I thought like a better option because I don't know who I would have chosen. So it's easy for me to be like, it shouldn't have been a Colin Jost.
I wish I knew the short list of who was in the running, just like for American Idol. Like I wish I knew, because we could theorize all day long about who would have been good for it.
Yeah, I love that idea too. I wonder if they literally thought it all about picking a girl. Like it's so, to me, the idea of coming out with Pop Culture Jeopardy was such an inspired, obvious choice. Like the person who made that choice obviously has their finger on the pulse. And this Colin Jost selection feels like the opposite of that.
Like even Bowen Yang.
By the way, that's the best. That's the answer.
Like
he's a podcaster.
Las pop culturistas.
And of course, like I said, it needs to be a girl, but a gay man is obviously approved as well. That's an amazing.
And he's SNL.
And he's hilarious.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Thank you.
And he's somebody who's a part of culture, but a little bit on the fringe because he can still comment on culture.
Yeah.
It's hard to comment on culture when you are a part of culture. I think a lot of people that's why I think a lot of celebrities who start podcasts like have a hard time because you want to like talk about what's going on in the world, but you have, alliances and allegiances and it gets awkward. It gets muddy.
Yeah. And then you won't say like what the truth of a situation if you know someone, whatever, and people don't want to hear that. I will say, I do think Colin Jost will be a good host.
Same.
I could see him
do
like
the job well,
stewarding the ship. Like has host material. He literally does
it's not
that.
About that.
But
who would have been
a
great?
Fun opportunity.
Mindy Kaling. I think she's actually too busy and too famous.
Why would she ever do this?
Yeah, and maybe I'm getting her a little bit confused with like her character from Mindy Project because like Mindy Lahiri would have been like stellar, but someone who, like she has an appreciation for celebrities. I feel like she's always fangirling over people. Colin Jost like doesn't give a fuck. I feel like he gets the most famous people on SNL.
By the way, I don't want to see a fangirl.
Me neither. But somebody who appreciates and respects like the art of pop culture, that I think is important. And I don't think we're gonna get that.
Yes, I think this is just skewing serious.
Comment below like your idea for who you had envisioned Yes, I had obviously envisioned like a podcast or influencer because like that's where the majority of pop culture discourse takes place on the internet.
Yeah, I feel like I could dream up like like who I would want it to be, but I felt like it would wind up being someone like Liza Koshy.
Yeah, but I don't want that. I just wish like how we were saying like the professionals.
Influencer, like they have a handful of influencers that they throw at every job. They're like, go, give it a swirl.
Yeah, but then sometimes like the influencers who are like the most famous, you get that problem too. Because I'm thinking like, who's the most famous, girly? Like Emma Chamberlain. But she is now at a place, she goes to the Met Gala. She is at a place where she is a part of pop culture. Who she dates is, reported in the news. She girl boss too close to the sun,
Yeah, I like the fact that they're going with someone that's a host by trade. I like that as a first step. But it also should have been someone like a little swirlier. That's like more exciting because this is pop culture Jeopardy. So
Agreed.
It's like
it's missing the swirly factor.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, like when I heard it, my first like feeling was disappointment.
Yeah. But glad to have a name, not like we're gonna have 5 hosts in rotation.
Because they did that with Jeopardy.
And who's the final host? Ken?
And it should have been Ken from day one, but Ken had one tweet about the disabled community that haunted him for years. And no matter how much he apologized, like he was known for his tweet. That's why they didn't give it to him at first, but only at last. By the time everyone was so fatigued with Mayim Bialik and Aaron Rodgers, they're like, all right, who is it? And now we're like, wait, who is it? They fatigued us to the point where we didn't care anymore.
Yeah. You just have to make a choice. Ryan Seacrest, Pat Sajak. Exactly. Even though when they make a choice, we don't like it.
It's true.
But make better choices.
Maybe if you made better choices, you would know what it's like.
To have our approval. But again, don't listen to us because you work in television as long as it's working for you and your ratings are good. But the problem is they're not.
Right. And we don't know. We aren't professionals. We can't stress that enough.
No. And I mean that. But as long as the ratings are good. But I feel like no ratings are good anymore. Every show gets canceled. Mm-hmm. Everyone's like scraping the bottom of the barrel. They're just like rebooting old shit. Like, so it's like not really working is what I'm saying. But if it is, go forth.
Go forth and multiply.
Don't let me stop you because, I'm probably not watching it.
It's so true. But I will be watching Pop Culture Jeopardy. Like that's something I will.
On Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah. #ad. That is our show. Jax and I are going to wrap this up. Head over to the big city to perform at the Beacon Theater tonight and tomorrow night. If you weren't able to come see us in New York or at the Hamptons, we've added another show August 17th at the Borgata Casino Resort in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So if you're spending the summer at the Jersey Shore, come see us. And if you just want like a fun trip, Atlantic City is always the right choice. So that's August 17th. Head over to thetoastpodcast.com. Tickets just went on sale. We would love to see you there. Meet and greet and regular tickets are both available. So thank you so much for listening to the Just Monday Morning Show. We deliver the fastest stories you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. We're also available as podcasts and where podcasts can be found. So Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Apple, Radio, Castbox, the place to find us. Leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, about how stunning, about how wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.